Bruh, I have to stop watching this guy. Oh man. I'm watching B Tatum right now, Brandon Tatum. I don't know why I keep watching him. But he did a video about the officer who got fired in LA Mesa after him and somebody up. Now let's watch the video and I'm gonna react to some of the things that he was saying.
You real big though, huh? Yeah, you real big. As an officer, you have to control the scene. You have to have this guy understand that he ain't finna swing on you. And y'all gotta think it's like 3 or 4 people on the other side of them that he's talking to, all his buddies in the car. They can get out at any minute and beat this officer down, or try to. I don't think they're gonna win that one.
Okay, so this is the first thing. He says you have to control the scene. He says there are people in the car that could get out at any time. Woo 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 this, woo woo that. In my mind, this is why I'm thinking that something's gonna happen, that the officer is gonna be overly aggressive, or I'm thinking that there's going to be some sort of, excessive force being used. Because before it even happens, Brandon Tatum is justifying the officer's actions. He's saying that anything could happen and you don't know, you have to control the situation. Basically, you have to be the big man just in case this other guy wants to get big with you. You got to get big first. And that's a philosophy I don't subscribe to. But hey, I'm not a police officer. Let's continue.
But you got to let these people know that you are in control. And that you better not think about swinging on me because you're going to take a big L. That is called officer safety, officer presence. That's not bullying or none of that. You have to be firm in what you're saying. This guy is not free to leave. He is detained. Just because you don't want to be detained, or you may not feel like it's right for you, don't mean you get to move around and act up. Keep watching.
Understand completely. You're detained whether you want to be detained or not. You can't move around. If he says you can't move, you can't move. So let's watch and see what happens.
You real big. Bro, we live here. Dude, just leave him alone, bro.
Look at him. Look at him balling his fists up, doing this.
He just came over.
Hey, where was I at? Where was I at? Right there. I told you, brother, ride the train, bro. The people came. I'm finna dip. I have no reason to be detained by you.
You detained. Now he getting in the officer's face. Look at him. Look at him. When a man stand up to you as an officer and they in your face like this, you better believe that this next swing could be him swinging on you. And if you get knocked out and 3 guys over there have his back, you get knocked out with your gun belt, you in trouble. This is not acceptable. This officer got fired, mind you. Keep rolling. Sit down.
Bro, you see your bro.
Other officer.
Alright, so 2 things here. Remember when Brandon Tatum was saying earlier that you don't know these other guys could get out their car and attack this officer? I had no idea when he was saying that. There were 3 police officers behind this guy. So what these guys in the car have to do with this guy? What? No, you're not going to win that. You have 3 officers to back you up. I thought it was just 1 officer when he was saying that. Oh, there's 3 guys in the back. They could jump on him. And if they get it better on him, he's going to be in trouble. But he has backup right there. That's just one thing. The other thing is, that was it. I'm going to keep playing the video, but that was the extent of the excessive force. So I'm like, what? Is that excessive force? That wasn't excessive force. Dude stood up, got in his face. The police officer sat him down, put cuffs on him. I don't see what the problem is. I don't see why anybody would get upset about that. Why anybody would be outraged at that. Literally nothing happened. There was no excessive force. There was no violence. There was just a bad guy got up in the police officer's face, got sat down, got himself arrested. So why then did this officer get fired from his job? That's the question. And then and listening to Brandon Tatum and all the everybody else who's talking about this story, it's like, bro, you can't be serious. Ain't no way this officer get fired for that. But we gonna keep watching. We gonna keep watching.
Came and helped detain him. He tried to get up again. He's saying all kind of crazy stuff that I'm not gonna play. Y'all can go watch this video. He called the officer an N-word. He's calling all of them N-words. He's threatening them.
I don't care about none of that. That he's threatening them. He's getting arrested. I'm sure he's doing a lot of stuff, saying a lot of stuff. None of that stuff has any relevance to anything. That's what people do. They talk stuff. It's not harming anybody.
This is an aggressive stance towards a police officer, which this officer wrote in his case report. That he took a bladed stance, an aggressive stance. Here's a still shot of a bladed, aggressive stance with a man literally touching noses with this police officer. That's picture number 1. Let's go. I got them all, baby. Let's go to picture number 2. Here we go. I'm gonna have them right here at the bottom. It's like a video, still shot of the man standing in the officer's face with his hands balled up. This is what they teach officers to do, is put your hands here just in case you got to swing on somebody. Your hands ain't too low. His hands are right here. He in the officer's face in a confrontational manner. We're gonna keep going. And so I have the case report, and I'm gonna show you these other pictures because I think they're relevant. This guy is supposed to be Mr. Good Samaritan. I'm a good citizen. Look at how he's acting. City of the Mesa, middle finger up in the air. This guy is
that third picture was completely irrelevant. He got his middle finger up in the air. He's having a good time. What that got to do with anything? Now he just showed us these pictures of him balled up and him in the officer's face. And I've already said that the dude was wrong, absolutely wrong. The officer had a right to sit him down and arrest him. It wasn't excessive force. Now, the thing where Brandon Tatum gets it wrong, yes, he got fired for lying, but not for lying about the confrontation. He got fired. Well, Brandon Tatum's going to pull up the police report right now, and I'm going to show you where he got fired for lying at. And I don't get it. Brandon Tatum, I don't know whether he didn't know or whether he just wanted to deceive his audience.
Now let me get to this.
That was irrelevant.
Because I think it's invaluable for us to kind of see a little bit of this case report. Because also, this officer is being charged. He is being charged with falsifying a police report. Now, here's a brief synopsis of it. We don't have to read the synopsis of it because here's the full investigation. I'm gonna put this somewhere in an article or something so y'all have access to this. All you got to do is read through this report. Very thorough, detailed report. I wrote thousands of them. This is a good report explaining everything that happened. At the time, this sentence right here, at the time I asked the so-and-so, they blanked it out, if he had a valid trolley or bus fare. He stated, no, I ain't using a trolley. But according to 640C PC, fare evasion, he's in violation of that. Basically
what that means is the officer asked him if he had a trolley. He said no, he didn't take the trolley. It's like, do you have a bus fare? No, I didn't take the bus. And then the officer wrote him up for hopping the fare, like hopping on the train without paying his fare, without any evidence that he actually did that. Well, I don't know whether he actually hopped on the train and didn't pay, but this whole thing had nothing to do with him hopping on the train. The officer is using some sort of logic or, deductive reasoning with nothing backing up, no evidence to say that he hopped the train. In order to get there, he had to have hopped the train. He had no evidence of this, yet he put it in the police report.
We can go up here. He's in violation of smoking while on that property. These are statutory.
That's why he got fired. He got fired because he was accused of smoking on the property, and the officer couldn't prove that he was smoking on the property, yet he arrested him anyways. Now, Brandon Tatum said earlier that he assaulted the police officer. So if the police officer would have said, "I'm arresting you for assaulting me," and wrote that in the police report, he would still have his job today. But you can't just get mad at somebody for getting in your face and hitting your hand away and, write him a ticket or say that he committed a crime that he didn't commit if you don't have any evidence that he committed the crime, which don't have any evidence that he committed the crime because you just don't have the evidence. This is CBS8.com. The now retired chief wrote that Dejas made false and misleading statements in his police report regarding alleged smoking and fare evasion violations. So, like I said earlier about the fare evasion, he didn't have evidence of it. He also said that he failed to activate his body-worn camera in a timely fashion during the arrest and directed profane, insolent language and made discourteous comments to Johnson. The bad guy popping his gums out the mouth, talking smack, and then the officer pops his gums off at the mouth and talks smack back. I don't have a problem with that, but he got fired for it. Perfectly understandable. No different from a student yelling at a teacher. Student is in the wrong. Teacher yells back at the student. Now the teacher gets fired. Perfectly understandable. It's not because he was white, people. Sorry. Stop playing the race card.
Yet the police officer got fired because he's white. And that's my opinion.
Anyways, here's the question. How did you hear about this story when you heard about this story? Did you think the police officer should have gotten fired? And do you still agree that the police officer should or should not have gotten fired? Basically, did you change your mind? Let's talk about it.